Good afternoon and welcome to our 50th Global Connectivity Conference. For consecutively 50 months, we have conducted this conference for CIPS on last Thursday of each month at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So my name is Tahir Qureshi. Before I say something, I'm going to ask Robin to introduce herself. And then we're going to introduce Brad and myself later on. So, Robin, you were the first. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Robin Fall. I am a CIPS located in Gainesville, Florida. I'm with Bossart Realty Services. It's a regional company. I've been out of the loop for a little while, just getting back. So I'm looking forward to reconnecting with people, sharing some information. I do residential and I do some commercial as well. Looking forward to it.
Wonderful, Robin. Brad, could you please give your little introduction?
Yeah, I'm a CIPS instructor, and I've been doing that for about 15 years now, actually 16 years, and have about every designation or certification you'd have when I first got in real estate. That's one thing they told me: get involved at the board and get all the certifications and designations you can, continue the education. So, one thing you brought up that I thought was very, very important is keeping positive. You hear a lot of negative talk out there about what's going on with the tariff issues and how we're dealing with some of the other countries. And I think it's very important that we kind of keep a positive spin on it, that, people still are buying here. We have probably more selling than buying right now, but, that'll subside and we'll end up getting back into a normal market again, once everybody kind of figures out what's going to go on.
Fantastic. Well, I am a FRI, Fellow of Rural Institute of Canada, and also I'm a CIPS and CIPS instructor for NAR. I haven't taught any courses here yet because lots of people are not too excited at the present moment, hopefully soon. And I have a small brokerage in Toronto, Mississauga, and look after the Ontario region, a very huge network, and we are here to help. And there are some restrictions in terms of non-residents buying property in Ontario, Canada, particularly. But we'll talk about that. It's in my presentation. We have so many time I've explained that. It's in a small presentation. So tonight I have a special presentation about the global economic impact of trade wars into real estate. So I'm going to do it with you all consent. I'm going to give a small presentation. You can leave your mic open. You can talk about it during a question. It's about educating and learning. So I put together something that hopefully will help us to understand what's going on and how we can help our fellow friends. So I'm going to do the presentation, and let's say here, I'm going to close this one here and start. I'm going to bring this down, slide, and somehow it's going down. Okay. There you go. So this presentation is about a special presentation on the global economic impact of trade wars on real estate. So I'm going to move this. So in summary, the global economic impact of trade wars on real estate can be significant. As we know, it affects the property markets through various channels, including investment flows, because we're involved with people who will invest in real estate, and construction costs, because disruption of supply, we're going to talk about individually, and interest rate impact. And hopefully the interest rates are going down, and economic uncertainty. When people are not sure what to do, they don't buy, they don't make decisions. So we're going to talk about are the key ways of trade war influence and real estate market worldwide. And we're going to talk about it because we're CIPS. So let me make it short here. Maybe I put this in this way. So I want to make sure you are able to see the screen, all screen. So disruption in foreign investment. This is because we are CIPS. So reduce cross-border capital flows. This is a very important factor that affects our real estate. Trade wars create economic uncertainty because when there is uncertain condition, people are not motivated, and that leads the foreign investor to pull back from real estate market in affected countries because we're CIPS. So it may have effect on one country and not on the other country. So we explore that option. Where can we do something? Shift in investment destinations. That's the key. Investor may redirect capital to more stable market, that is from US and China to Europe or South Asia. So this is just a thought about that. And impact on the commercial real estate trading, trade development sector, that is manufacturing, logistic, may see reduced demand for residential and office space. As you can see, since we have a pandemic, lots of things have shifted online, and there is a high demand of warehouse. Now, this is a different story now, where a disruption of service, manufacturing, and logistic will affect because we are interdependent on each other. Our global economy is local, and if we are not able to trade with each other, it's going to have a problem in manufacturing. Second thing is the rising cost of construction. Brad, you feel free to speak and jump in and talk. Construction costs in Canada, Ontario particularly, have increased almost 35 to 40% as we were getting out of the pandemic. Now it's going to have a major impact because these trades are suspended for 90 days, but there's a lot of struggle, lots of things are coming from China. So they're going to affect that. How is going to reroute things? And when those raw material is not here, if you have a tariff on steel, aluminum, lumber, and other construction material, it's going to increase development costs for the developers and obviously labor costs will also increase. And because of that, project delay will happen because higher cost can lead to a postponement or cancellation of real estate development. This is happening right now in Ontario, Canada, because people can't afford this housing. Not before we had a problem because interest rate was going up, affordability of the buyer. Now, even the homeowner, but now is affordability of the builder. Can they buy it? Because if they had previous commitment to build a project and now material costs gone up, transportation cost has gone up, labor cost gone up, there's a delay happening. So it's affecting. So therefore, construction costs are going up. So builder or developer are not able to sell or fulfill their commitment they already signed for pre-construction homes. And even renovation of the new homes, cost of material is going up, so it's affecting us. So these are the costs that we have to talk to the people who have the authority to help understand. When you move this up here, economic slowdown and reduced demand. Now this is good. You are going to experience that, and please enlighten me and share that. Lower GDP growth, trade war, slow economic activity. People are not buying it. People don't get it to anything to sell it. It's a business expansion. Nobody's hiring, nobody's expanding the business. And that weakens the demand of office and retail because we're in real estate. If they don't demand, nobody will build, nobody will buy, nobody sell. Office or retail spaces. Consumer confidence is declining. This is where our buyers are. Uncertainty may lead to lower home buyer demand, particularly in luxury market, and also industrial and logistic real estate impact. If global trade declines, demand for warehouse and distribution center may drop in the trade depending regions. A couple of years ago, during the pandemic, and right after that, I was able to buy a bigger warehouse for my client. Now nobody's buying it because they don't know what will happen. And this is where we have a challenge, how it's going to impact us.
Excuse me, may I ask either of you a question?
Sure.
On the previous slide at the bottom where it was talking about
Yeah.
industrial space, I was in a meeting yesterday where there was an appraiser there, the
Yeah.
industrial and logistics real estate impact, and I asked them because in Gainesville, the Alachua County area, surprisingly, we have a free trade zone. And I wanted to know if that would have any effect on their appraisal values. But to my surprise, this appraiser didn't know what a free trade zone was. So that was surprising. But because my question is, I'm wondering, considering what's going on now, um, what, if any, of the trade wars and the tariffs effect that could have on um, trade zones, free trade zones.
The free trade zones are the areas where local government or municipality or state is controlling activities within this, establishing a trade zone and all that stuff. They exempt you from taxes and all that stuff. Brett,
Right.
Brett can tell that. But we're talking about country to country trade. And this is where, if any, for example, you have a trade zone where you can bring the material, you pay federal taxes or whatever, and then you come there and you build them, you hire people. But if you are getting their material with the extra tax or whatever you call it, then economic ability of building that unit or product or system or assembly is too expensive to sell. So that has a impact that operation, whether trade zone local taxes may not affect it. It's a material that needs to feed that particular manufacturing plant or facility that will be affected, and whether they can survive or not.
And most
Okay.
most of the appraisers, when they're dealing with commercial properties, especially like office space, they will do it as replacement value. And what will
Yes.
happen is if the price of steel is doubled because of tariffs or because of shortages, then they're going to put that number in there to, equate to whatever is going to happen with the new construction. So the cost would be, almost 100% higher, based upon the situation we're sitting in right now. So I think an appraisal coming in would probably overinflate what someone would pay for it, and that's just a simple thing of supply and demand. He's right. Tahir's right that the materials going in are probably going to dictate, the value of that property and what it would cost today.
And that's where
Okay.
the concern is. Building the unit, we're talking about trade. You need to have a material to build the property. So because we're in real estate, we talk about buying and selling real estate. So if let's assume somebody signed an agreement, and we're going to come back to the appraisal. Appraisal is the last thing when the bank wants to give you the money, and they want to make sure that money is safe. At that time, they do the appraisal. Normally, in a residential, you need to have a 20% is treated as a conventional mortgage. If you put 20% down and 80% given by the lender, they do appraisal. If appraisal does not match with the agreement of purchase and sale, the buyer has to put extra money, whether it's residential or commercial. So appraisal, like Brett said, they will have a built-in contingency funds, but that does not affect the real value what the seller agreed to sell at the price, or what has been a price has gone down or down, because it's kind of over leveraging the value of the property. So
Understood. Mm-hmm.
let's assume you have a $1 million unit and you put 20% down is a $1 million value when you bought it. 3 months later, you're closing it. You send the appraisal is now 900,000. Bank is not going to give you 80% of the 1 million, they're going to give you 80% of the 900,000. And that's the difference that you have to come up from your pocket as a buyer. Do you agree, Brett?
Yes, we
Yeah.
actually built a high rise. We ran into that exact situation in 1990 when we were building our first high rise. Is the bank would lend the family so much money for that building, and as the costs went up on the building, the appraisal stayed the same, so we had to come up with additional cash, and we ended up having to sell one of our pieces of commercial property in Indiana to come up with the cash to close on the building.
Yeah, this recently and this year and last year, we have so much problem because I own Canada Express Mortgage. I'm a licensed principal broker of Canada Express Mortgage, license number 13241. So I teach also on the financing side because I have real estate, financing, and also I'm a licensed builder. So I have all three covers. So I am able to explain people better practically so they're easy to understand. So when you are buying the property, this is where it's very, very important. Realtors not only use comparable cost analysis, we call CMA, use a cost approach as a replacement cost, as Brett mentioned. I always do cost approach because that way, if we have to build it, when we are buying something, can I build it at the price that is available in the market? So I buy it. Why I built it? Because it's going to take you time, financing costs, blah, blah, blah. Now there are opportunities for people to buy it. But this is the issue that we have to discuss and understand to make sure we are able to guide each other. So appraisal value, bank will never give you a single penny more than appraised value and the percentage of value ratio, loan to value ratio they approved in your commitment document. So it's very, very important to pay attention to the details, even though you may not be licensed as a mortgage agent or broker, but you are who are responsible for a transaction in real estate. So it's very important for you to learn. This is it. When you learn something, you can make a referral to a person who is a competent, have a jurisdiction, have education and credentials to provide the service. So you're protecting your client. This is our fiduciary duty to protect our client, to educate them. So whether it's a foreigner or a local. So the other important thing, I hope that we cover that.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Keep your mic on, Brett. Feel free to talk. Now, number 4, the impact of the trade is a currency fluctuation and capital shift and weaker local currency. So whether it's Canada, US, or other countries, currency faces tariff, may see currency depreciation. Countries make real estate cheaper for foreign buyers, but more expensive for domestic buyers due to inflation. See, if your interest, currency fluctuate. If some other country has a stronger currency, they have a more buying power, whereas the local people will be affected. And this is very important. My kids are one son is in medical school. I'm paying for the last 2 years high price because our currency is weaker as compared to US dollars. So, and this, I am feeling the impact, and now this is going to further impact. Imagine the business, how much business that flows between our borders and nation worldwide. So the currency fluctuation will significantly impact ability a person to buying a real estate or any do business. So flight to sale, have an asset. And these investors, these are smart. An investor may shift capital to safe real estate markets. There's a USA treasuries, a prime European properties instead of volatile emerging market. So there are assets. There's a safe haven. Lots of people invest in areas where taxes is an issue. And they want to do that. So it does affect that. Wherever there is a more incentive, return on investment is greater, investor will go there. And this is going to affect our real estate. And again, interest rate and financing effect. The central bank response from the United States If trade war cause economic slowdown, central bank may cut interest rate. Similarly, in Bank of Canada is cutting the interest rate, but inflation has gone up now. So in 2 days ago, the Bank of Canada was supposed to decrease the interest rate. They didn't because inflation went higher because of what's going on. So tighter lending condition, bank may become cautious, restricting credit for real estate developers and buyers. So are you experiencing that, Brett? Anything there?
No, absolutely. Almost all the builders, are seeing significant slowdowns, and it's because of the price increases they've had to have because of what's going on with the economy and the exchange of the dollar and what's going on with interest rates.
So, Robin, do you feel that too?
Yes, feeling similar things, very similar things. I also noticed just, that about the currency fluctuations. For the first time in I'd say years, there's this one particular source that well, particularly in West Africa where funds come from, and I can tell I know the US dollar is weaker because with the currency exchange, um, there's much more buying power here in the US than there have been and I mean years.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. So obviously, because in real estate, it's very important for all of us to understand what are the main ingredients or what are the challenges that we face. So we know that construction costs, trade, economy, uncertainty, and interest rate fluctuation, these are all matters because I always says that the leader of the country has a power to keep the pulse of the nation strong and happy. More excited people are, they make good decisions, the buying and selling, trade goes up. If something affects the pulse of the people, it really slow down them. And this is what is happening right now. And I hope that we will be able to. Okay, here's another one. Regional market variation. US and Canada real estate industrial market may suffer from reduced trade. You know why? Can you enlighten us, Brett, a little bit on number one?
Yeah, the problem is I can't read it because I'm outside
Okay.
and the sun's glaring on my phone.
Okay, so I am saying is that the industrial market may suffer from reduced trade, but residential market could benefit from lower mortgage rates. So there are two things. Industrial, because if flow of information is not going, trade shipment are not being made, manufacturing is not being done, transportation is not being done, items are not being delivered, cost of the material has gone up. So whatever you have right now, interest rate is the only thing that is going to come down. It may create a more affordability for the buyers to buy something. It depends whether it's going to be local buyer or the foreign buyer, because foreign buyer impacts is based on the currency and their decision making where to invest their capital. Whereas interest rate, people will buy it. Now, China is emerging market, property markets may face downturn due to capital outflow and weaker economic growth. And these are the things that we have to think about. How is impacting it? All of us have very specific target area where we work. And we need to know how these trade wars are impacting our community, our city, our state or province, how we can overcome them, because we are not going anywhere. We make our living, bread and butter, through real estate. So we have to find out what are the alternative solutions for that and how we can survive. And this is very, very important for us to do that. Now, number three, alternative winners. Countries like Vietnam, Mexico, and India could see increased manufacturing relocations, boosting industrial and residential real estate demand. So this is just a thought. It's a thought that if cost of product that is being built in China coming to USA or Canada is $100, And now, if the relationship breaks down between all of us, how we're going to survive if the material cost or the product cost is now $500 or 50% more than what we've been paying to? It has an effect. So manufacturer will look at, see which country has a good relation and trade relation with each other, and they will try to shift the relocate their manufacturing facility. At the end of the day, it has to be produced. You need the raw material, and you need to manufacture them, and you need technology for efficiency, production, and obviously transportation costs, shipping costs. Everything is going to be affected. And this is why it's very important. Any comment, Robin, on this?
No, no, other than it's, I mean, I think it, like Brett said earlier, we really do just have to keep our eye on the ball and see how things change. Because I saw something the other day where I believe it was someone who had shifted they were, importing their products from China, and then they wanted to shift to a place like Vietnam. So when the, the worldwide 10% hit, it really put them in a bind. And this is a company, a small business that had been planning to expand. They've
Yeah.
been planning for a couple of years to expand, and now everything's on hold until things
Okay.
calm down.
Yeah. 7 item that we have is a long-term structure shift. Supply chain reconfiguration. Supply chain is how logistically the company, manufacturer uh, procure material, and not only procure the material and assemble it, manufacture it, and transport it to the site. And since we are in real estate, we talk about the real estate construction related building material. So company moving to a production to avoid tariffs. Why they're moving it? Because there are areas where there will be no tariff. But if relocating a plant, it will put a high demand and time consuming as well. So avoid tariffs could increase demand for factories, warehouse, and worker housing in new locations. So they are thinking about realigning. And this is happening as the real world is changing. So this is the structure is changing. I remember 30 years ago, everything went to China. Now we have a different situation. So it will be relocation will happen based on supply and demand of our people. So cost will go up. Cost can go down. It all depends how everything is structured. So shift toward domestic production. That is what I believe is the motive. Every leader have his own vision, and they want is in the and decisions are made in the national interest of the nation. Therefore, some countries may incentivize local industries, potentially revitalizing certain region real estate market. So you have to see how it will shift. Some areas are good in manufacturing, some are good in supplying. So it's a combination of everything. So at the end of the day, structure will change. How it plays, we have to learn. In conclusion, trade wars create volatility in global and real estate by disrupting investment. That is the key. Money will buy everything. Increased cost. Is cost increasing now? And alternate demand patterns. So people used to buy, repeat, they can. We don't know what will happen. Who is going to buy? Uncertainty, all those things that are affecting it. And while some markets may suffer, that means trade-dependent industrial hubs, others could benefit from redirected capital and lower interest rates. So these are the things that we have to watch and look into the area. I am expecting, like, we are relocating. If business is not good for me, I need to move. I go to other place where I can make money for my family. So this is all about investors and developers must monitor trade policy. And I always said to all my students when I teach that you must understand the regulatory requirement and policies that affect our profession because we are here lifetime. We're passionate about real estate. So we need to understand what rules and regulation will impact, not only externally, but also internally. That means in trade, international trade. If we are buying material from there, drywalling, compounds, many things, screws, everything coming from US, it will affect the construction in Ontario, Canada. Currency trend is very important because some people, they play with the money. It's very important for us to know when you're talking to a client, you can explain to them, they need to make a decision, it will impact them. And we have, in mortgage business, we have a know your client and know your product. First of all, because of money laundering and trade frauds happening, we have a law. We need to know everything about our client. Sorry, Brett, you want to say something?
No, that's not me.
Okay. So anyway, so idea is that we want to find out the person who's buying a property from us. We identify, we have FinTrack requirement, we check everything. And similarly, we want to know what product we are offering them is a good product. That means you have chosen a property that is suitable based on his investment, his financial portfolio, and you did assessment to make sure it's safe for him or her is for living, for investment or rental or whatever. You have to come up with the expenses, NOI, and expensive income to net operating income to make sure there's a profit incentive there, because a lot of cottage industry, resort industry is being impacted, particularly on those areas where there is a resorts. So I want to know in Florida how everything is affecting their tourists there. Robin?
Well, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can
Yes.
hear you.
Okay. Um, well, I have to say I'm not too tuned into a lot that's going on in my local area because I've been out of the area. That said, I'm very curious. I'm going to be going down to Ocala um, shortly because there's a huge Canadian population that typically comes down and plays pickleball. So I want to go see for myself. Um, what the difference has been and if there's been any difference in the market. I would imagine that there may be people that are selling because there's lots of snowbirds that typically come down. And my understanding is that just generally speaking, something like a 60-70% drop in Canadians coming down to this area, but I need to verify it.
Yeah.
In our market down here, we're 50% Canadian of all of our foreign buyers. We're between 50 and 70%, and it fluctuates. We're probably on the lower side right now, but we are definitely a resort area. There is no manufacturing or construct, any businesses down here that are in manufacturing. There's some transport, warehousing, but that's about it. The majority of everybody down here, it's a second home, which in most cases, that doesn't mean it's a second home. It's a seventh, eighth, ninth, or 10th home. And it's very wealthy people. And what we're seeing is the high-end market is not being affected. People are buying it. But the comment I've had that's helped me the most when I'm talking to people, and most people, I'd say more than half of the people are looking for something new. They don't want to buy something used, especially in the condo market with what we've had with Surfside and some of the law changes on buildings 3 stories and more. What we're finding is that if they want new, it's really easy to tell them, listen, it isn't going to get any less expensive than it is right now, because the builders have inventory, which is unusual. They don't build to have inventory, and they're making incentives, whether it's buying down the interest rate, if they're looking to borrow, or they're paying additional closing costs. And they're offering incentives to the realtors, and higher commissions than what they would normally do. They really need the realtor now. And that fluctuates a lot. I mean, we've gone through times when if that person walked in that place and breathed in their door, you can't have them because, they got them already. And now it's like they could be in there 10 times and then they bring you in and they say, no problem. We'll help you. Just get him to sign.
I tell you, I'm very surprised to see in Canada, normally, there is no set rules, but normally, the builder pay 1% of the sale price. You bring a buyer and just let them slaughter the guy, without disclosing much information. Now they're getting up to 5%.
Oh, yeah. We're getting 5
Unbelievable.
to 7 plus bonus.
Yeah, yeah. And so they know that it's worth it because nobody's buying it. And we have a huge network. And realtors, we have, many, many things that we can help people to buy. At the end of the day, is a shoulder is on our responsibility is on our shoulder, because as a part of our fiduciary duty to protect the client. And I very aggressively question and interview my clients, and they tell me, "Oh, you really want me to buy this property or not?" I say, "Well, I want to make sure that you can afford it, because I don't want to see you 3 months later that you can't afford it, right?"
Sell it.
And then you're in trouble. And I used to give 6 month, 1 year guarantee that if something happens to you, I sell it for free. But I stopped that a few years back because, you read the market, what's happening at,
Yes.
and then you say, yes, I can do that. Every night I spend like half an hour to 1 hour before I close my eyes. I know what happened and what could be my educated guess. It's all guess game, but based on
Absolutely.
based on the facts, and you have a confidence based of your knowledge, your credentials, that you are on the right track, and your assistant. At the end of the day, decision will be the buyer and seller to sell and the buyer to buy. And agreement is between buyer and seller, not with the realtors. We can only provide facts. In Ontario, we don't give them a price, you buy or this price. No, we are prohibited. We only present the facts, and our client will tell us what price to put on the offer on. We guide them these are the facts based on comparable cost approach, income approach, whatever method that you use. But we never tell them to put this more money or whatever the price they're asking, because we need to analyze the asking price. Is it a realistic price or not?
And we're finding even the builders, Tahir, even the builders down here are telling you, bring us an offer, which they never used to do. But they're even saying, bring us an offer. And just one more point on how you used to guarantee them. What I've always done is I said, listen, I've done my homework, I do my research, and my job is to make sure that what we do is buy this place, and 6 months later, if you tell me, hey, this isn't working for us, or we found another community, I can get you out of it whole. And that works really well. So you might want to shift your thinking that way versus, trying to give them a guarantee, because that's hard. I mean, that is really hard.
No, I think I stopped about maybe
Yeah.
10 years ago. I stopped that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped that very early on. But I never have an experience with the client, because I always deal with the professional engineers, doctors, those kind of
Yes.
high-end clients. They're educated, and they're not buying it for investment, a short-term investment. They want to live and enjoy. But I know, based on my experience and assessment, when you have a gray hair, you know it, what kind of clients you're dealing with. And you say, no, give them a comfort. For example, somebody lost a job, they went bankrupt, or there is a divorce or something happened. This kind of situation, I am always there. I help people without compensation for buying and selling real estate, because this is part of my humanity factor that I use, and I've been very successful by helping community and giving back to society. We are nation builder. Real estate professionals are community, city, and nation builders. They give us a desert, we put the site plan, we did everything. We worked with a builder. We built a subdivision, and here you go. You got a new town in a desert, and then every business coming, and then we grow, and become a city. I have seen that all the time. So this is very important that we can get everything going, and this is very important. I think I'm going to share with you. We still have a few minutes, unless you want to share anything special, Brett or Robin, anything you want to share. I want to give you just a small slice of the market condition now. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but if you want, I can show you the slides of what average pricing of the units are now. Detached homes, semi-detached, townhomes, and condos. Just one slide. But
Yeah,
Yes, please go ahead. Mhm.
okay, let me go and share that. Yeah. What the hell? I'm going to close this one. Let me close this one.
so here I'm doing a presentation to the Bonita Estero Board of Realtors in May
Okay.
about Canada because there's a group coming up for Realtor Quest.
Okay.
And I would love it if you could share some of your slides with me. I'm going to just kind of doctor them up and make it for what we want to do, but especially this one you're about to show, because I think that's important that they understand, what's going on in the market that's feeding them a lot.
Yeah, so I'm going to, so see, I created these for you, so I'm not going to go through this, but this is standard one. I'm going to get to the point. I send you the PDF copy of this if you want.
Great. Yes,
Write
great.
whatever you want. So this is latest March, because I believe first week of, like April will come in the first week of May. So you can see the sale as compared to 24 and 25 is a minus 23.1%. And this is the sale right here. And then if you look at the average new listing, 28.6%. This was a 46% in last month. So it has improved tremendously, but it's still sale is new listing is higher. And active listing, 88%. Can you believe it? Active listing. We have a 12,000 to 429 in 24, and now we have 23,464.
Wow.
Isn't that a buyer market now?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Average price, minus 2.5%. We have in 2024, 1,120,984. Now is 1,093,254. So minus 2.5%. And list day on the market, 20 to 24, 20%. And property day on the market, 29 versus 36. So you can see that. And this is a slide I want to share with you. And then I'll be more than happy to share with you what you want. So we have two areas. One we call 416, which is a Toronto area, GTA. And we have 905, which is Mississauga, Oakville, Oshawa, Brampton, surrounding city. I'll show you the map. I think I passed the map.
Yes, so, it's a couple slides before, because I've seen this before, so yeah.
Yeah, so detached is where, if you look at the sale, we have a 2,155 total, and I'm going to go average is 1.4 million average. So you can see there is almost 400,000 difference between 416 and 905 area. You see that up 1.7 million versus 1.3 million detached home. It doesn't talk about this overall transaction, 2,155 transaction, all combined. Semi-detached, average price in Toronto is 1.337 million, and 905 is 942,000. I'm rounding them up. Townhome in 416 is 975,801, and 905 is 890, so it's almost 85,000 less. Condo, 700 16,460, and 905 is 615,086. So this gives you a kind of average price based on, I always tell viewers that you need to connect with your real estate professional to help you evaluate your property. This is based on total transaction through Toronto Regional Real Estate Board. There are some other MLS boards. Some are member of both boards, and some are missing the data from here. This data does not include any new construction that is not listed on MLS. So year over year change, look at this sale, minus 24.9%. Average price between the both is minus 1.8. Semi-detached, minus 15.9% sale and minus 0.9. Positive 2.6% in average price in 416, but minus 6.6, so it's drag it down. Townhome, minus 23.2% sales and minus 3.5 overall between 416 and 905 area. And condo, minus 23. So you can see that is all sale are minus, minus, and minus. And average price also gone minus 2.6. So let me see the next slide. This is what I wanted you to notice that. I always say 2023, we have an average price of 1,126,279, and we have 65,884 transactions. In 24, we sold more than last 23, 67,600 tell, but average price came down lower, 1,117,600. Slightly lower average price, but look at the sale. And now you can see here, I always tell people that regardless of the history of 24, 23, you look at what's happening in 25. So in January, we have a 3,826 transaction. Average price was 1,041,617. And now in February, it went to 4,019. Now average price increased about 42,000, 1,083,866. Now in March, our sale went up again, 5,011, where average price increased almost 10,000, 1,093,254. So this is very important for people to know that even though we are, history tell us what happened, but we need to look at what's going on in 25. I think there's one slide that I want for you to, Brett, to pay attention, and I'll send you this PDF copy if you want.
Yes, please.
This is a Canadian Real Estate Association. That they are Canada-wide, control the MLS system. So they are forecasting, this is a sale forecast. They are forecasting there will be 0% of change in 2025. They're projecting in Canada-wide 2.9% increase in 26. We are in Ontario, okay? So they are saying for 25, they are forecasting minus 4.2%. That means we will not recover from the previous year. It's minus 4.1. We were 173,482. Now we are 166,131 transactions. So, but they are saying is sale will go up in 25, 3.2%. So that shows that there is a forecasting, there's a trend next. Hopefully we are over with the trade issues and other matters. And okay, one second. Sorry, went back. And this is the last slide. And that's a actual average price projection. So they are, Canadian Real Estate Association is saying that it will be minus 0.3% Canada-wide and average increase 1.2% average price in 2026. So we are in Ontario. So Ontario is predicting a minus 0.9% for 25 average price, and they are saying is positive 0.8, so less than 1% increase in 26. Any question, anything?
Here, do you think that there's a possibility that the prices are increasing in 25 because maybe they're not buying in the US?
It all depends on it because, see, if people are reinvesting in local market, yes, it will increase because I expect that a little bit interest rate come down and people will buy it. And they have a little bit strict rules now on investment properties. They cannot buy it and just leave it empty. So there is a vacant property tax now. If somebody buys a property and don't rent it, they have to pay some duty on it, a tax on it. This is something new that happened now. So
Do you still have your tax on foreigners?
yes, that's what I was going to show you. 25% non-speculation tax. There was in the slide, I think I sent you the slide if you want.
Yes.
That it says that 25%, if you are a non-resident, even a Canadian who declare himself or herself that they are living outside of the country and they're non-residents, this 25% speculation tax will apply to them. They cannot buy the property unless they are residents. But because they're Canadian, they're going to end up paying speculation tax, which is Ontario tax 25%. Number two, federal government has made some changes to the law which prohibit foreign residents to buy homes up to 6 units. You have to buy larger units, and then you have to pay. You must be 183 days in Ontario or Canada in order to qualify being a residence. Even though you are on a work permit, you can buy now, but in Ontario, you have a speculation tax. Even though, let's assume you are $1 million house and you have to put 25% down. Now speculation tax will be $250,000. So you need $500,000 to buy a property.
Wow.
Who can afford it? And single homes, I believe up to 6 unit, you cannot buy it as a non-resident. You can do a development, you have a private corporation. They used to say 3%, now it's been changed to 10%. So we have to identify the client. They come say, I want to buy it. We have to check their visa, immigration, everything before we sign a buyer representation agreement, because we don't want to get in trouble, because there is a $10,000 fine for violating that prohibition act that restrict non-residents to buy a property. So even Canadian who leave the country and declare themselves non-residents, they will be subject to 25%.
And this is all to just spur housing availability, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
But this is law until they lift it. It's supposed to expire. I don't know what the date is. I have to check that again. But still valid. There is some exemption to it. That means corporation can buy, if you want to buy a development property, let's say I'm a licensed builder now. I'm working on a few things to hopefully get a big project, subdivision or something. Those I can sell to the foreigners. Project, they can become a partner, or they buy properties, 25, 30 units like that. They can do that.
One more question. You going to be in Realtor Quest?
Yes, absolutely.
I will see you there for sure then.
Yeah, I'm going to Missouri on this Saturday. Sure, definitely. You let me know what time you're going to be there. You have my number?
Yes, I do. Just make sure, put it in the chat just so I can copy it. But I'm pretty sure I've got your card, actually.
Yeah. 164513489. Here you go.
Great.
So hope that today we have a good constructive conversation about this.
Very good. I'm so glad I was able to attend. I haven't been able to check in lately. So
We're-
yes,
We're
very
glad
good.
to have you.
And
Thank you so
Brad.
much,
But
Tahir.
this is our 50th, yani 50 month consecutively. Whether 1%, 2%, we used to have lots of people attending it regularly, and we built bond. And I remember when I went on 22, I believe went to Orlando. I have so many friends that they personally met me through the network, and I went to meet them personally. It was so amazing. So I'm hope that this year I should be able to come to the NAR. Depends on how my wife is doing. And so thank you very much for attending, and hopefully I'll see you in May. You already booked the hotel, everything?
No, I'm getting ready to right now, actually. Right as soon as we're done. Today's my birthday, so
Hey,
there's
happy
a whole
birthday.
bunch going on.
Happy
Well, unfortunately,
happy birthday.
it's a really big one.
Yeah?
I'm getting old.
Oh, come on.
It's-
You're saying you're close to 70 then?
I'm turning 70 today.
Yeah. I am
Yeah.
70, getting close to 73.
Well,
See?
Happy birthday.
thank you.
Happy birthday to you. May God bless you and give you all joy, good health, and happiness and success in your personal business. And glad to have you, Brett. I appreciate, Robin, you for your time. This is what is where the network is. When you get to know each other, you build your relationship, and when there is opportunity, we will do business together. Thank you very much.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you. Have a great rest of the day.
Hey,
Take care.
Robin,
Yes.
you're
Uh-huh.
I'm in Naples, Florida. We're south of you. Do you go to Florida Realtors?
I do, and I actually went to Realtor Quest last year. I won't be going this year, but yeah, I do go to Florida Realtors.
Well, hopefully we'll hook up there and have a chance to meet.
Absolutely, absolutely. I look forward to it
Thank
and enjoy Realtor Quest. It was great when I went last year.
I've been about 8 times, and I used to
Okay,
have
so
I had a booth there a number of times. I was director of sales for a big development down here, and I went up there a couple times for that. And then we did some things from our local board where we had a booth up there, and they sent me up there. So I've been up there about half a dozen times, and I know how to work it. It's really fun.
it is.
Robin, did you go to, because I have a delegate came in, I did a very beautiful tour for everybody. We have a projects. We did a trade mission actually. There was I think there was some paper here. Yeah, this was Dana. This was Gibson, Dana Gibson, Andrea Caper. They came from, I believe they have they gave me this award, because I did a delegation for them, North Carolina Realtor Association or something. I believe the Rory Robin he was also one of the president there.
Mm-hmm.
We have amazing. I have a Nigerian delegate there. I did a presentation there. We have a hotel, food, and everything. Then we did the tour of all the major development in Toronto area. It was a lot of fun. We had 3 days together with. I think we have 25 people together. It was a lot of fun. So I look forward to see you and Brett. Maybe we will break the bread together somewhere.
Sounds great.
Thank you very much. May God bless you all and talk to you. Hopefully, we'll see you in May then before our event, next conference. Thank you.
Thank
All right.
Bye
Thanks.
for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.